Hey, are you a fan of the Panera Bread Bowl? You know, whether you are or not, you knew exactly what I was talking about, didn't you? Panera founder Ron Shaich says that what is important when it comes to building a business might be different than what you think it is. And you know what? When you find out what it is, because I'm about to talk to him, make sure you hit that like button on the video. Here we go. Let's talk to Ron.
You want to have financial rewards. You want to build a business of quality. You want to have that. You can't make it happen. Right? It's a byproduct. What's it a byproduct of? Building a better mousetrap, building a better competitive alternative, better serving your target guests. When you do that, the byproduct is the financial rewards and the success.
That was, I think, going to be a big aha for a lot of people, because you write that profit is not the end. Profit is the byproduct, which, by the way, I was so glad to hear you say, because I had a business partner once and I was trying to explain what you're saying here much less eloquently than you did just now, Ron. And she kept accusing me of not wanting to make money. She kept accusing me, going, no, this is about.
But listen, I'm long-term greedy, not short-term stupid. And you want to be short-term stupid, you react and you try to squeeze. You want to be long-term greedy, you understand who your target customer is and you deliver better for them than anybody else. You do that, you're going to build a sustaining, powerful business. And you're ultimately going to have far more financial rewards.
This idea of having a competitive product was actually where you started. Let's talk about your first business, which I think was a business you created in college. You're hanging out at I don't know, like it sounds like almost a 7-Eleven. And the dude gets mad at you that's working behind the cash register.
I'm mad at me. They accuse me of shoplifting, Joe.
Well, look at you, Ron. Look at you. Clearly,
wait. I ended up on the board of that company later.
Did you?
Yes, no baloney.
So let's tell us that story about how you created the first business.
Well, I wasn't interested in business. I was probably on my way to law school. I wanted to change the world. I wanted to make a difference in the world. And I was the treasurer of the student body at a place called Clark University in Worcester, Massachusetts. And I was tossed out of this local convenience store. And I came back to campus and said, the heck with these guys. Let's create our own nonprofit convenience store. We don't need them. They just hassle us. And this treasurer was able to raise $60,000 in capital, basically a tax on the student body. And then we had to figure out who was going to build this place and who was going to run it. And ultimately, I volunteered to do it. I spent the summer ripping out an old, the faculty wives thrift store. That was what they gave us. I ripped it out. The administration didn't support it. And I ran this store. And as a kid in college, this is, almost 50 years ago, but as a kid in college, to be honest with you, I couldn't dance. I couldn't sing, but this was the closest I came to live performance art. I loved it. I loved the creative process. I loved serving people. I loved figuring it out. And it opened up a whole world for me. And the irony of it is sort of the problem in my life. We started making a lot of money. It's supposed to be nonprofit. So we lower the prices. What happens? We make more money. We lower the prices. At the end of the year, we had about $60,000 in profit. This is where the administration gets interested, right?
Oh, isn't that weird? All of a sudden, they're excited about it.
Yeah, I wanted to throw a Grateful Dead concert on the Village Green as a way to give the money back to the students, but we ended up, shall we say, in the scholarship fund.
That's very nice of you.
Yes, that was the way it came down, and that store lasted 30 years.
How did you in those early days, though, get product? Because you're not Walmart. I mean, you're not able to. I'm even as a student, I can't imagine how you get wholesale pricing to go and resell stuff.
We didn't. Listen, here we went to the local deep discount supermarket at about 5 a.m, and we took 7 or 8 shopping carts of food, and then we went back to the store and we re-merchandised it. But here's my point to your readers. My stories are just fun. The reality is the joy in any of this is figuring it out, right? How do you get it done? It can get done. And when you're small, you have an advantage. The reality is you can move quickly. You can, your executive committee can meet on the way into work and resolve it by the time you get there. It's not all that complicated. The power you have when you can be flexible and move is extraordinary. But the key is to know what you're focused on. The key to this book is to know what matters. What are you trying to get done for whom? In order to do that, part of what we talk about in this book is telling the truth. The 800-pound gorillas, telling yourself the truth, telling the people you work with the truth, knowing what matters, and then most importantly, getting it done. Too often in corporate America, we talk about what we're going to do and we don't get it done. And so this is central to the entrepreneurial experience. And Joe, before we go forward, I want to tell your listeners just something else, share with them something else. I think we as entrepreneurs, and I think there are many who might be listening, are often misunderstood. People think of entrepreneurs as risk takers. That's not an entrepreneur. Entrepreneurs are opportunists. We see opportunities that other people don't. It's that simple. And then we are committed to protecting that opportunity, that ability to meet that need in a way that other people don't. And what I would say to you is if you want to build an entrepreneurial life, if you want to build in any activity, it's to start and figure out with empathy, what is that customer need? Where can I make a difference that other people don't? How can I do it differently? How can I be that much better than the next guy? And when you do that, you actually have a business model.
Wow. Just a fantastic discussion with Ron. And you know what? Let's put more of a tactical edge on this before we say goodbye, because I think we want to make sure we make this as usable for you as possible. And as the gold miner said, there's some gold in those hills that Ron just went through. So let's start off here. In this conversation, we talked about the difference between a byproduct and what you really focus on. So the thing that you don't focus on is the profit, right? Don't get me wrong. We need to make sure we have a profit. But the first thing we need to do is make sure that the customer comes to us versus somebody else. Now, you can do that by lowering prices, but I like where Ron's going. You know, he's in a fairly hardcore industry, and while you got to keep margins good, it's much more about the customer experience. So if I'm walking through the things that Ron talks about, how do I create a better experience for the consumer? You know, there's a restaurant in my hometown here in Texarkana that has wonderful food and the absolutely worst experience. There's no music playing. The servers are poorly trained. You want to walk through all of those pieces because it's not just about the taste of the food, right? And whether you make widgets or you are selling cars, that customer experience is the reason why increasingly people want to go to you versus somebody else. People can buy the stuff at Panera in many different places. You want to look at that. Second thing is when it comes to being an entrepreneur, it's not about being a risk taker. This is a big aha for people, right? Entrepreneurs, risk takers, no, they're opportunists. I love this delineation. So what you need to do, and it's going to make it not only more profitable for you, but a hell of a lot more fun, is begin exploring those crevices. Where are people not meeting the customer? Ron has learned to look in those edges, and that's where he paints, and that's why people go to his places versus others. If you found this video inspiring, make sure you do just a couple things. Number one, pass it on to somebody who needs it. Number two, make sure that you get in on the comments. Let's have a discussion. Number three, to make sure you get the next one, hit that bell so that you get a notification as soon as we release another video. Good news too, this was actually part of a longer conversation we did on our podcast called Stacking Benjamins. Wherever you listen to podcasts, you can hit it here on our YouTube channel, or if you prefer listening, go meet us over on Spotify or wherever you listen to podcasts. I'm Joe Saul-Sehy. We'll see you next time. Stacking Benjamins. Bye-bye.